Hello everybody and welcome. Thank you for joining us today. And it's us again. Yeah.
Hello.
We had a little sidekick show down ready for you, but yeah, we won't worry you about that. But this is Marie, and tell them a little bit about yourself, Marie, because we haven't really formally introduced you and really what you do, and yeah.
I do training for, I help train tech support, and I do software testing and new product testing also. But my main job is software testing.
And very important for the Grace Company, as you all know, and you know me, I'm Carla, and the same old face that you see every week. So I have a couple of special guests I want to introduce to you today. I am so excited and so thrilled. I am starting to have an education department, and I have two of the cutest, sweetest girls working with me, and yes, they are young and they are beautiful. So yeah, so come on in and let's introduce yourselves. This is Janessa and this is Amanda, and they're very talented. So just quickly, I'll take my microphone off. Okay, Amanda, tell them a little bit about yourself.
I'm Amanda. I love doing art and teaching. So
Yeah, and she's a teacher for her trade, and she's coming to join us to bring her gifts and talents to us at the Grace Company. And I'll step right behind you because I don't want to step in front of you. All right, and this is...
Hi guys, I'm Janessa. Similar to Amanda, I've been in the education world for many years, and I'm super excited to join the Grace Company and work in the education team. So I'm excited to see more of you guys and work with the Grace Company.
Yes, and they're both very gifted, and I'm very excited because you will see more great things from the Grace Company concerning the education. So we're going to jump in and get started today. So we're going to let them take off and do their thing. But today, Marie's going to walk us through, because we've already done the setup with the automation to the motor plate and the frame and hooking up all the cords and everything like that. But this week, Marie's going to walk you through how to set up your tablet and install your software and make it correct. So watch carefully, and I'm going to turn the time over to her, and I'm going to trade sides. So don't, and let her go for it.
So we have the little box of that our software come in, and the thumb drive that is in it. You will want to make sure that your USB cable is out of your tablet before you do the install. Also, you want to make sure that when you receive your tablet, a lot of times it is in tablet mode. You don't want it in tablet mode. So I'm going to swipe my finger from the outside of the tablet and go inwards, and we get a little action center here. We want to uncheck tablet mode, so that should be gray.
So Marie, what is tablet mode?
Tablet mode shows the apps
Okay.
of the device.
So that they know what they're looking at.
Yes.
It's in tablet.
You want it to look like the desktop, like a desktop
Yes, okay.
computer, and not in apps. Because things will pop up, and if you're in tablet mode, you won't see them. They'll be behind. So, and then also while we're here, I'm going to uncheck where it says not connect for Bluetooth. If you're not using any Bluetooth device, uncheck that. And also while I'm here, I'm going to check the rotation lock. It is really important that you have the rotation lock on, because if your sewing machine vibrates at all, it will try to change the orientation of the tablet, and that will stop everything.
Oh wait, so sorry.
Nope,
so
you're good.
explain to them, so you know when you have the iPad, so is that when you turn the iPad and the screen changes its position?
Yes.
So that's what she means by the orientation of the
yes.
screen, so it's not bouncing from side to whatever, from horizontal to vertical.
Yeah, and you mentioned iPad. We're not compatible with iPads.
I understand.
It needs to be a Windows-based
Okay,
tablet.
so your Windows-based tablet, everybody.
Yes, yes. So yeah, you don't want the orientation to change. So I'm done with that, and now I have my desktop. Another thing I'm going to do before I start with the program is I'm going to go into the power options, and I'm going to send them to never, because we don't want your tablet to shut down while you're quilting also. I'm going to right click on the Windows icon in the bottom left. The right click on a tablet is a tap and hold, And when you let go, a menu will pop up. I'm going to go into power options. And then I'm going to change all of these to never. You don't have to do never, but just remember if you do have it set to never, you will want to make sure you shut your tablet down every night or it will stay on. So I'm just going to put them all to never.
So we're shutting the tablet down, or is it like the screensaver?
Yeah, a screensaver won't come up. It won't go to sleep. You will have to power it down.
Okay.
So, and those are the changes for the power settings. I'm also going to talk about real quick Windows updates. In the past, we've told people not to run Windows updates. Windows 10, it is very important that you do run the updates. It will cause you problems if you do not. A good time to run the Windows updates is after you're done quilting or a day you're not quilting. At least once a month, put your tablet online and run the updates. If I tap on the Windows icon again and go to this gear, which is the settings, it'll bring up the settings, and then we have an update and security, and then you can check for updates. Also, there's another optional update that is popping up. This one happens to be 20H2. It is also important that you run this one. It isn't optional, but you would have to hit download and install. I'm not going to do that now because we're going to be in the middle of doing the install. We don't want it to slow the tablet down. So when you're quilting, also make sure you take it off your Wi-Fi, put it in airplane mode, because you don't want any outside interruption to happen while you're doing that.
So do you have to be connected to the Wi-Fi to run it?
You do not. Good question.
Okay.
You do not have to be on the internet to run your automation. You do have to be on the internet to do your registration though. So I'm going to put our little thumb drive in the side here. And then it will pop up asking, some tablets might pop up what you want to do. Just tap on view files, and then I'm going to double tap on the setup. Take a second, hopefully I got it. And then it's going to come up and ask if we're going to run this app, say yes. So I'm going to run through this setup, but I'm not going to change any defaults. I'm going to let it all be the same default. So I'm going to hit next. Then I'm going to agree to the license and then tap next. The directory is going to go to leave that there. Next. Start menu. Next. I want an icon on my desktop, so I'm going to leave that checked. Next.
So is it important for them to read the screen as they're going along?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is really, you're just going with all of the defaults, so
Okay.
you really don't have to. So
Oh, and what is a default, just for those of us who don't know?
it's what the program is set for you to how to run, how
Okay.
to start it.
All right.
So you don't really have to change anything
Okay.
when you're running it. Now this install, there's a two-step process to it. First it runs the install, and then you'll see your icon pop up. I'm going to hit finish. I'm going to go ahead and close this window. And now I need to double tap on the icon to finish the file structure of the program. It's warning us to make sure we don't have the USB plugged in, and I don't, so I'm going to hit OK. And now it's creating the directory structure. And this one will take a little bit because it's copying all the help files and tutorials from the thumb drive to the program.
And is it placing them in certain places on the drive?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, it is. Also, while this is running real quick, if I tap on the File Explorer folder and open it up and go to my drive and my thumb drive and go to Extras and Help again, I have all of our help files and then our tutorials. So you can plug this into a different device and print those off if you would like. They're also in the software and on your thumb drive. So I'm going to hit OK on License agreements. Now it wants to load our USB drivers. I'm going to say load drivers. The File Explorer window will come up. I need to double tap our CDM setup. I'm going to say yes. Now I'm going to extract for our drivers and just go with the defaults again.
Now we're going to have this written down, or we do have a tutorial on how to load it, but it doesn't have the new features. So,
Well, we actually have a file on our website
yes.
for the
Okay.
instructions for this.
Awesome.
Okay, so it ran through the install, and I closed the Explorer window, and now I'm going to hit OK. The program's going to restart. And now I'm going to select the sewing machine.
This is really important.
Yeah, so I'm going to pick the QCT 21 Pro. And I'm not connected, but I want to finish, so I'm going to hit ignore because I want to finish the install with the registration. So I'm going to hit ignore.
What if they're upgrading from one machine to another? Do they have to go and pick? And they already have the automation, they already have the software installed. Are they going to have to pick their sewing machine
Yeah.
in the
They can go-
settings?
Yep, you just go to help,
Okay.
and there's a place to reselect the sewing
Okay.
machine. It's help, about, and sewing machine information.
Okay.
All right, so I've installed the software. Now it's asking for registration. You have 30 days to do the registration. You have full access of the program for 30 days. So don't feel like you can't use your system if it hasn't been registered. If this countdown is stopped, then you're going to have a problem. So I'm going to hit yes on registration. It comes up with the information from the thumb drive, my product key. I'm going to tap on next. Then it has the information of my tablet. I'm going to tap on next. And now I need to fill out my information on here. So I'm going to go ahead and fill out my information. And I need to cap my letters. So my first name, last name, my email, and then my security questions. We have a drop down, so there's more options if you would like to do a different option than your mom's maiden name. I like to use the quilting frame I own, and I'm just going to put the continuum. I'm going to backspace. I'm going to put the continuum 2 on here. And then here is where I can add. So the software needs to do a validation. I'm going to add my cell phone number in here so I can get a text message and validate it that way. If you don't want it to use your cell phone number, leave that field blank and it will send you an email.
You should probably use an email that you can get to quickly and easily.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I'm going to put my number in here. And then I'm done completing the information. I'm going to hit next. And then another screen will pop up. This is where you want to check your information and make sure it's all correct. And then I'm going to hit submit. And it says you have successfully submitted your registration and the software will restart. I'm going to hit OK. Then I'm going to hit OK again. Now I'm going to get a screen. It's going to ask if I want to be in simulation mode. I'm going to say yes. So a validation screen should pop up after this. I hope it does on me. I didn't think about it. Okay, so I didn't think about this. There is a screen that will pop up of validation. Can you show the screen, Bryant? Not that one. The after. Yeah, that will pop up before it starts. Mine did not because I'm already registered in the system. So it just took my information and seen it and went, okay, we're great. So when you have this, the validation screen, you want to go to your email, and you have 30 minutes to do it. You want to go to your email or your phone and validate it. It's just a link. If you can bring up the next screen, please, Brian. This is my text message that I received, and you click on the link.
And what is that link for people who don't know?
It just
Is that blue
goes to
section?
our database. It goes to our website.
Yes, so if you just
And
touch
goes
on
to
the screen where it says HTTPS or
Yep,
something.
you just tap on that, and then
Okay.
next screen, please, and then you get your validation successfully. So with this, talking about this, I want to talk about if you have a phone number in there and you did not receive a text message, your the system, your phone blocked the text message, and now you can't validate the system. So go check your email after that. If it fails the phone, you should be able to go do it with your email, and then you're in.
Yeah,
So
and it
your
was a
soccer's
little
done.
fast, but
Yeah.
go to the website and read the help file to help walk you through. Because it's a new way of you registering the software. It's very exciting. We're out in the 2000s for the
Right.
year, and so Grace Company's coming a
It's-
long way.
Yeah, it's quick and fast. So I was going to exit the program, and it is asking for the frame. So you want to select which frame you own, whether it's a hoop frame or a regular frame. And the reason I close it so I could take my USB drive out and put the USB in. And now we're ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to move it back. Whenever you go into the program, you want your machine centered and back because it's going to move forward. I'm going to go in one more time before Carla takes over.
Now it's just going to engage with the automation.
Since I was in simulation mode, and simulation mode is where you can use the program without stitching. You can play with it, practice. And it's going to ask me if I want to be in simulation mode. Well, now I'm connected to the machine. I want to say no. Then it's going to ask if the needle's up. Very important, you make sure your needle's up, and it's going to move. It's going to move forward and to the left a little bit.
It's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good noise, a good sign. If it does move forward and to the left a little bit, you need to check your belts.
And now it's opening up. It's a little slow today because it's really hot here.
It is really
It's
hot.
feeling the heat.
We're sweating.
Yeah, are there any questions that anybody had? I wanted to comment, whoever caught that we didn't put the belt bracket on, way to go. We want all the steps necessary to be in our little video. So Bryant took it down, put that step in, so kudos. You're watching us, you're keeping us on track, and I just want to thank you. Right? So thank you, Marie.
You're welcome.
We appreciate everything you do to help keep pushing this company forward, and she has a lot of work ahead of her because we've got a lot of great things coming, a lot of exciting things as well. So we're going to get started. We're going to open up the automation, and we're going to start quilting today. I'm going to introduce Select and Sew to you. Select and Sew is the part of the program that it's just so quick and easy to place a design and quilt it. So I'm going to jump in and talk to you about that. But first, I just want to make a couple comments about as you're quilting and what you need to remember, okay? First of all, it's really easy for us to lean up against the pole and give our whole weight onto it. But you'll notice that every time I lean up against the pole, it pushes it in. So as you're using the automation, make sure that you don't push on the pole, because it will distort your design as you're quilting. Also, don't push down on it or anything. Or even if you're over here, it just makes a huge difference. So when you are quilting, just place your design and stand back and let it do its thing. That way you'll have beautiful designs all the time. I can't tell you how often we're teaching a class or we're showing somebody, and it's just so easy to just lean up against the pole and want to put your whole weight on it. So just watch that. And if you're having problems, it could be that maybe you need to push the pole in just a little bit more. Make sure that you're setting this pole here, because you know most of our poles on our older frames, they don't extend out, but on our newer frames, this pole here, it's the backing pole, the pole that holds the backing, it will extend out to accommodate the longer arm machines. So make sure you're pulling your machine forward as far as you can, and then set your pole. Okay? So let's go into select and sew, and I'm going to use the handy dandy stylus that came with the automation. So you get a little cleaning cloth for your screen and also this nice little stylus, and it's just really easy to use. You're going to use this end here, and we're going to double tap on select and sew, and you can see now it's asking for me to set my safe area, and the safe area is your quilting area that you're going to be quilting at the time. So I want to move my machine. It says it wants me to go to the top left, to position my machine up at the top left. If you read right here on the screen, it's telling you exactly what you need to do to start setting your safe area. So read the screen, and it's going to help you place your safe area correctly. So I'm going to move my machine across my quilt up to the top left. Now, I'm going to position it up and off the quilt top itself, because I want, if you're quilting an edge-to-edge design, you want it to sew off the edge. And I've tacked down the edges of my quilt so it can sew off the edge. But even if you're quilting just blocks at a time, make sure that you're just coming off onto the batting. You don't want to go clear off the quilt itself, like over here. You just want to make sure that you're up off the quilt and onto the batting, so if by chance it sews off, it's not going to sew off here in this space. So we're going to tap on the screen, and this little box here is the box that we're going to tap in. Don't tap up here, tap in this little box where it says top left, and you're just going to tap right here in the screen. Okay, now read the screen again. It's asking us to move to the bottom right so we can set. So now we've set our width. We're going to go and set our depth. The depth tells the automation what size throat or how far you can quilt this direction. So now I'm going to pull it forward as far as I can, and notice that I'm up off the quilt again, and I'm going to tap on the screen as well. So right here, I'm going to tap. And so now I've set my safe area, and it's going to come into the screen where you're going to see, notice across the top here, you see all these little folders. These are folders full of designs, and they're different styles of designs. So we have block designs, we have continuous line designs, we have triangle designs, and border sets. And then over here, if you have the gold card, it's a special section that if you have purchased the gold card, then you get extra designs with your subscription. So that's where you go to look at those designs, and you get them, is it once a month, Marie?
Yes.
Once a month, and they're really nice and very beautiful. So yeah, the gold features we're going to get into later, but I'm just going to pick a design, and you can scroll through and decide what designs you like. And let's see, this is pretty popular right here, this lattice square. So I'm going to open it up, and notice that I have these 4 little gray dots around it. Those are called placement nodes, and it's going to allow me to place this design on my quilt. So I'm going to move over to this blue section on my quilt right here. I'm going to place this whole lattice design in this area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move up to my top left corner, and notice I have a little gray node right there. I'm going to tap on it, and it jumped to the position that I had now set it. So now I'm going to move down and place it on the bottom right. And you don't have to do this in any particular order. That's just how I'm doing it. Now you can deviate from that setting. Now I'm just going to go halfway across. I'm going to place it right here at the bottom right, and then I'm going to go up and place it right here at the top right. And so now I've placed my design, and notice it's kind of off kilter just a little bit, but that's the way that this block is positioned. So yeah, my block is probably not on exactly straight, and you could straighten it up, but I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just showing you how to quilt it. Now, if you wanted to flip the design, you could. If you wanted to rotate it around, you could. There are different settings on here that you could play with and just see what the design does. We're just going to jump in and quilt. So over here, there's a button over here, an icon that says quilt. This is the placement screen. So now I want to quilt out my design, so I'm going to go to what we call our quilting interface screen. And we're going to tap on this icon and see how it's connecting. Right then, I wasn't connected to the automation, but see how my screen changed? Can you pull it down to show them the sewing machine screen? Yeah. So right here, notice that it says quilt motion right here. So now my sewing machine is connected to the automation, and I can't use my buttons on my machine. So I have to use the section or the selection buttons up here on the screen to run it. So notice on my design here, on my quilting interface screen, that has in the design a green circle and a red circle. That is where the indicator of where it's going to start sewing the green and where it's going to end sewing the red. So I kind of want to just estimate where it's going to be. So I'm going to guess. You don't have to be exactly on, because this isn't where it's going to start picking up and sewing. Okay. Diana, I'm going to answer your questions. Okay, when the boundaries are being set, left and right, are they affected as you are rolling the quilt up? Are we talking about the safe area? And the safe area can be, but the automation accounts for that. So you don't have to reset your safe area unless you get a screen asking you to. Okay, and then it's just a good indication that your safe area wasn't set wide enough for how your quilt is rolling. So just know that the automation is very intuitive, and it's going to let you know that you have to reset the safe area, and it's totally doable. You don't have to go totally out of the automation to the beginning and reset the safe area. It allows you to do it in, right here, your little toolbox. So inside this little toolbox, it's really handy because there's a place to reset your safe area, and all you'd have to do is go in there and reset it. Very easy, and you won't have any problems with it. So just know that if it hasn't been set wide enough, then it'll let you know. And the screen will go red, and it'll just say, hey, you need to reset your safe area, and just go do it. So good question. Thanks for asking. Okay, so inside here, while we're in the toolbox, I just want you to see all the nifty little tools that you can use to help you with your automation. So right here we have moved to the start point. So if you wanted to know where your design was actually starting on the quilt, you could just tap on that and then move to the start point. Then I showed you the safe area. Right here is a really nice one. It is the single stitch. If I tap on that, it's going to make a single stitch, which, by the way, is very nice because then I don't have to use the pole bobbin. Okay, so just know that single stitch is in there. It's going to work for you. You also have a single stitch right up here at the top of the screen. So both places is a single stitch, and then you don't have to worry about pole bobbin. Now, if you love the pole bobbin feature, by all means, use it, okay? I'm not going to tell you how to quilt. You decide what you like and use it the way you want to. Okay, so I just like things done quickly. So I'm just going to chap on that single stitch. I was able to pull up my threads. I'm going to hold on to my threads, and then I'm going to tap on sew. And you'll hear it engage. I'm going to get my scissors ready. Now, see how it moved to the start? It's going to do a tie-off stitch, or make a tie-off stitch, I should say. And then, as it starts sewing, I'm just going to gently cut, and it's going to sew my neat little design. And I'm not going to lean on it. See how tempting it is? Stand back, you guys. Don't lean on it. I didn't want you guys to yell at me for leaning on it because I just made a big deal about it. After this is done quilting, I'm going to show you the different placements. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because Select and Sew is so easy to use. And if you have the automation and you want to know more about it, please jump in, read the help files, and follow along. Because it shows you some great features and great things that you'll be able to understand and learn by just playing around in simulation mode. And you can speed the automation up. So it has a slow, a medium, and a fast speed. So make sure you run it to the settings that you like. There's also an area, and I'll show you on the screen, where to set the stitch length, or the SPIs, the stitches per inch. And it looks like it's going to make one more go, and it's going to come up and meet right back here. Or maybe two more, who knows. But notice how nicely it stayed within the parameters that I set on the block. Now it's going to do another set of tie-off stitches. That's where it's going to go back and forth. And now we're finished, and it's released the machine, so now I can move it. Now, I haven't tapped on finished. Once I tap on finished, where's my stylus? Once I tap on finished, notice what happens to my sewing machine screen. Can you show them really quick? Now it's back to regulated precise. So at this time, I could use the buttons on my machine. So I want to just pull it forward and make a nice tail, okay? I'm making a tail on top and a tail underneath so that I can pull up my bobbin thread. And now I'm just going to move the machine back to where it's quit sewing, where it made its last stitch, and I'm going to insert the needle down and bring it back up. And as I pull it away, notice what happens to the bottom thread. It comes up, and there you can easily cut it. And there you go. Now we're not going to have threads dangling down underneath, getting caught underneath all your beautiful quilting, and you won't have to spend time trying to get them all out. So make sure that you pull up the bottom thread, really important as you're quilting. It makes a huge difference on the way the back looks on your quilt as well. So just real quickly, I just want to show you a couple of things on the screen. And right here, we have select pattern right here at the top, right the top left. That's where you'll go to select your design. I call them designs. And so that's where you can go and scroll through and decide which one you want to quilt. All right, now down here we have a toolbox. And inside this toolbox, we notice that it says placements right here. The placements are different ways to place a design on your quilt. So I used 4-point placement, which gave me, if you have a block design, it actually sets the corners of that design on all 4 corners, and is a really nice look. Now there's block design, but notice where the 2 little placement nodes are, notice that there's only 2 and not 4. So when I go to place this, and I'm going to show you how this works so that you understand, but it's a good time for you to just put a quilt on, like I've done here, and just play. So you can learn how they work and see what you like. Okay, so I'm going to place the block method, and I want to sew it really quick and show you the difference between 4-point and block, because I'm placing this top left and this bottom right, but there's no node right here to place these other 2 corners, so it's going to sew a little off, and it's going to kind of dip down in, but let me show you how it works. So I'm going to go to my top left, tap on top left node. I'm going to go down here to my bottom right. Now this is a quick, easy way, because you're missing 2 other placement nodes to place a design, but it may not be the look that you want, and that's why I wanted to show you. Okay, so now I'm going to tap on my quilt screen. Notice how fast that was. And I'm connecting to the automation. I'm going to kind of move up. I've got a pretty good idea of where it is. I'm going to go, because I'm connected to the automation, I'm going to go right in here to my toolbox, make my single stitch, pull my threads up, okay? And now I'm going to tap on sew. Now there are many more placement methods inside the placements, so check them out and see how they work and play with them. It's fun. I'm just going to carefully cut my threads. And notice how that on my top left and my bottom right, how nicely it's placing those 2 corners. Is there, okay, Lucy Eldridge, is there a way to turn off the sound on the buttons? Are you talking about the overspeed, where it beeps at you as you're moving? Oh, the buttons on the tablet? Okay. Do we want to turn the sound off, Marie? Okay. I'll have Marie come in and talk to you about that in a second. Because I guess I'm not quite sure of the question, so we'll get to the bottom of it, Lucy. Good question, though. And notice how the design, because I didn't have a placement node right here on this bottom left and top right, how the design sewed up and off my block. So just make sure that you're using the correct placement method to set the design onto your quilt correctly and how you like. And that's why I wanted to show you the 2 differences. You know, I'm not going to spend much more time on showing you select and sew, but next week I'm going to get into the pantograph side of it. I'm really excited about that. And but I'm going to have Marie come in, and we're going to talk about the question. You can use mine. I'll just hold it up. I'm almost done here. There we go. And we're done quilting, and we can tap on finished. It's going to take us out of the automation. I'm going to pull it forward again to make my tail. Then I'm going to move it back, and now I can use my buttons. And I'm going to make sure that I pull it away to pull up my bottom thread, and then I'm able to cut the excess thread. And notice, I just wanted you to see, I guess we'll use the GoPro, to notice the 2 different designs and how they sewed or how they were quilted on your quilt. So, you set up again, Marie? All right.
Back on.
All right, we can get out of this so that you can show her.
So it's just a matter of turning off the sound on your tablet. Just tapping right there, and I have the sound off. Since it was brought up, and this has come up before, is if I was to minimize this screen, now if I touch the screen and I have this turned on, it's going to ding at me. It's not going to let me touch
okay,
anything.
that's what she was talking about. Okay.
Yeah, so it's dinging at me right now because my other screen's there. If I tap on the icon down here, you can't see it. So the trick to get it back, swipe your finger from the left side in, this will pop up, tap on your program, and it'll come back to the correct screen. So that's a good little
Swipe the
tip.
finger.
Yep, so if you minimize and you're hearing dinging in the program and it's not getting you anywhere, swipe your finger to the left and bring back up the screen that you minimized.
Okay. And that's just right down here, the sound. You turned it off earlier, so it's not dinging at us. So she sets up the tablets, and I just get to use them. So thank you, Marie. I appreciate that. Hey, any other questions that we can answer? Oh, she's talking about the buttons on the handles. Yes. Let me show you. Okay. Now, I'm sure you probably have either a 15R or 15 Pro or one of those machines.
I believe she just bought the 21.
Okay, did you buy the 21R? Is that what it is?
I'm not sure if she got the
Okay, Lucy, anyway, I'm just going to show you. If you have the 21 Pro, you will just go into the settings and turn off the overspeed, okay? If you have the 21R, you're going to use your buttons, okay? And you're just going to tap on them. And it's in your manual, okay? And you're just going to use your manual to follow along. But what you're looking for is the overspeed button. And then you're going to turn it off, and it won't be ratchet any longer. If you need some help finding it, email me, and I'll take you through it step by step. And you know what my email is? It's Carla with a K, Karla @graceframe.com, or you can email our education, because I have these cute girls and they're going to start helping me with it. So it's education@graceframe.com, and I'll be more than happy to help you through it and help you work through each of the steps so that you know how to use the buttons correctly and how to turn that overspeed off. Because yes, you're right, it does get a little annoying, especially when you know what you're doing. All right. Okay, you have the 21 Pro. So go into your settings right up there, down here, the little wheel, and then just turn off that overspeed. That's what it's called. And so I thank you for joining me today. I look forward to next week. I'm going to have some great things to show you with the pantograph mode. We're going to show you some little things that I love. I always love showing you little secrets. So, and introducing you new ways of quilting. Make sure you bring your questions. And make sure you email me. If you have something, cute Becky, she emailed me letting me know that she wanted to learn how to trace around a picture using Pattern CAD. So we're going to work on that. So let me know what you want or what you need to help you continue on your quilting journey. And we're all here to help you. And we're very grateful that you've joined us. And be safe this week and have a good, cool week. And we'll try to have one here. You take care. We'll see ya. Bye-bye.